Hey guys, welcome to Digit.in, and what we have for you today is our review of the Redmi Smart TV, the X65, the 65-inch TV. And yes, you guys have been asking for this review for a really long time now. We are going to do a couple of videos around this TV. This, the one that you're watching, of course, as the title says, is our full review of this TV. And the next video that we are going to be working on is specifically to the gaming performance of the TV. We're going to play 4-5 really good high-profile visual games on a PlayStation 5 connected to this TV and publish that as a separate video. And all the questions that you have asked us in the comment section of our first impressions video of that TV, we're going to compile all those questions and do an FAQ answering all your questions about the TV. So if you aren't subscribed, you may want to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon so you are notified when those videos go live. So let's get started with a review of the Redmi 65-inch X65 Smart TV. Let's just call it the Redmi TV from now on. The TV is available in 3 screen sizes at 50-inch, 55-inch and 65-inch, and the one that we have for review is the 65-inch. Now the price of this TVs is really interesting. The 50-inch is priced at 33,000 rupees, the 55-inch is priced at 39,000, and the 65-inch one, which is the largest size available, is priced at 58,000 rupees. Now, the question you need to ask yourself is, are these price points, or rather in the case of the 65-inch TV, is this the size that you really want to go for? Because at 58,000 rupees, it is actually a pretty good budget to get a 50 or even a 55-inch TV with, let's say, slightly better picture quality, slightly better performance overall, and maybe even the build quality. But if 65-inch is something that you want to fill that large wall in your house, if a large screen size is something that's of priority for you, then the short answer is yes, you can consider this TV. But why? Well, let's watch the rest of this video and find out. But one thing to note is that the 55-inch Xiaomi's own QLED TV is priced at the same price point, about 57 or 58,000 rupees. So that is also one of the options out here to choose from. We also have TCL's QLED TVs from last year, the 2020 QLED TVs, also available around this price point for the 55-inch variant. So if the 60,000 rupee price point is your budget and you're okay going 55 inches, like I said, there are many options to choose from. But how does this TV perform? So let's start with the picture quality, which is the most important. Now, we ran our standard slew of movies and TV shows on this television, and what we found was that the overall performance, be it for Dolby Vision content or HDR content, the TV is actually pretty good. So we ran, let's say, shows like Altered Carbon and Our Planet, which is in Dolby Vision, and you have 2 settings for Dolby Vision, which is Dolby Vision Bright and Dolby Vision Dark. Now, this TV has a 4K panel. It's a direct lit panel. Xiaomi does not tell us what the peak brightness or the contrast ratio of this TV is, so we can't tell you that information. But we are working on getting some equipment that will help us answer these questions in the future, so you may want to stay tuned for that. Having said that, this TV does not have any dimming zones, so when it does try to mimic the color black, you may see some blooming or haloing around an object. This is more evident in when you're watching the TV in a dark room, and also objects like, let's say, Spider-Man's suit in Miles Morales, the game, which is completely black. You will see hints of gray in it. Now, Our Planet, Altered Carbon, all these shows are really bright in some of their sequences, and it's actually pretty nice to watch it on this TV. I mean, I remember the Mi TV 4X, which came out a few years ago, and watching some dark scenes in HDR on that TV made everything look really dark. But on this TV, watching Dolby Vision content was actually a treat, especially from a service like Netflix. We also saw the movie Ready Player One, which has the opening race sequence around the 10-11 minute mark, which has really beautiful bright highlights, and you also see them race under a bridge which has some dark sections, and most of the content that you need to be able to see on these scenes is actually visible, and the movie was an enjoyable experience even from the audio front, because you have so many cars whizzing around. The 30-watt speakers on this TV actually get the job done really well. Even in SDR content, be it shows like Young Sheldon on Amazon Prime Video, or you have Spider-Man Homecoming on Netflix, or even Mission Impossible, these are some of the standard test scenes that we use to consume content. SDR content on this TV is also actually pretty good. Now, one thing to note is that you may want to keep the TV settings in SDR on either movie or standard, because if you put it in vivid, everyone's skin gets this kind of yellow tint which makes everyone look like they have jaundice, and it's not really the best. Even though some other colors like reds in the shirts or blues in the sky start to pop in some of these movies and TV shows, but the skin tone also becomes a little more yellow. So you may want to stick to the standard and the vivid preset for SDR content. HDR10 plus content is something that this TV touts to play, and this is where the performance kind of gets a little underwhelming. We've had this problem with a lot of TVs in the past where HDR10 plus content has a slight green tint to it in some shows and some movies, and you see that on this TV as well. It's more easily noticeable if you have another TV in the house and you kind of watch both of them together, then you know exactly what it is. Otherwise, it has this light, the slight green tint to it, which makes shows like even Jack Ryan look slightly on the greener side. Now, you also have a show like The Grand Tour, which is in HDR10 plus, and when you watch that show, there are these, few of these shots where you have the camera showing you the drivers of the various cars, be it Jeremy Clarkson or his other two companions in the cars, and you can in other televisions, let's say, see the other cars from these guys' windows. Now, because the sequence is so fast, you may not notice this, but some of the cars that are outside the window kind of get a little burnt, which is just to talk about the peak brightness of this TV, which isn't extremely high. So this is something that we did not notice on the Philips TV we reviewed recently, but it is something we noticed here. So that's something to take note of. One more problem with HDR10 plus content is that there are no picture presets to control HDR10 plus content. Once you go into the picture settings for picture presets, you can only choose HDR10 plus. You can go into other settings like color temperature and maybe change it from warm to cool to neutral, and this does help remove the green tint, but it also makes the content look slightly cooler or slightly bluer than we'd like, because HDR content by definition needs to have the slightly warmer tone in some of its colors, and that is lost when you change the color temperature. So HDR10 plus content may need some work. Gaming, like I said, Spider-Man Miles Morales is a great game. It has this beautiful, soft, warm sun in the winter where this game is set in, and that's a treat to play. Like I said, just because Spider-Man's suit is completely black and there are some sequences in slightly darker areas, those look grey, but it doesn't look dull or dim, which is good. At least you can make out the content on screen, and if you're someone that's on a tight budget, then for gaming, this TV just may make sense. Returnal is a PS5 exclusive that recently launched, and we played some of that on this TV. And when you play it on a high-end OLED TV, now this is just for comparison's sake, when we played this game on an OLED TV, the first area in the game has this really dark forest environment, and all the enemies, these aliens that are shooting at you, have these really bright projectiles that come at you, and this gives the environment a beautiful contrast on an OLED TV. But on this TV, while those projectiles do have that nice rich colors of the blue and red and green that come at you, the darkness of the environment looks slightly grey. Once again, the fact that all the details are actually visible makes the content easy to consume, because it isn't black and dark and you can't make out the details. We would like to play Resident Evil Village on this TV actually to check it out. Maybe we'll do that. But in a game like Returnal, which has these dark environments, the details in those dark environments are visible even though they are slightly grayer than black. So it's a compromise for the price point. A game like God of War, for example, which has some really lush environments and also some dark corners where you go to solve these puzzles, especially the caves, are also visible, and it's a lot of fun playing games. Even Ghost of Tsushima traversing the island makes the game feel really good on this TV. Like I said, the fact that you can make out all the visuals is great. There are no dark areas where you're just looking at a black screen because it's trying to mimic darkness, but it's not being successful. It's actually pretty good at what it's doing, especially when you consider the price point. So yeah, if you're on a tight budget and gaming is a priority, then maybe this TV is also a great choice for you. It has 3 HDMI 2.1 ports, but the only 2.1 feature that this TV brings is auto low latency mode, and we don't have any way of testing the latency of this TV, but it was pretty responsive. I mean, a game like Returnal needs you to be at your fastest trigger fingers, and it was a lot of fun on this TV. But having said that, the TV has a refresh rate of 60 Hz only, and it does not support variable refresh rate. And again, look at the price point. How many other TVs come with HDMI 2.1 at this price point? Now, moving over to the sound output, like I said at the beginning, if you're watching something like Ready Player One, which has these two guys in the race talking to each other, cars whizzing past each other, crashes happening, King Kong trying to destroy stuff, that's a really good example of mixed audio. And the audio was actually also really clear. Now, it wasn't as clear or as good as the Mi QLED TV we reviewed some time ago, but it was watchable, which means you really don't need to invest in a soundbar when you buy this TV immediately. Sure, it lacks bass and you are not going to feel the sound coming from all around you, but the fact that it's coming from right in front of you and it's clear gets the job done well. Even the vocals for movies and TV shows was actually pretty good. So coming to the build and design of this TV, now this is one place where it has compromised. It has got plastic build all around. It's got two simple plastic feet. The bezels are relatively slim, but it isn't as premium as the Mi QLED TV, and that's a given. I mean, again, look at the price point of this TV. A good thing is that though the 3 HDMI ports and 2 USB ports are towards the outside. Now remember, the TV is actually pretty huge at 65 inches. So some of these large screen TVs we've noticed have the ports closer to the center of the back, especially the budget TVs, and it can get problematic to reach them if you need to change the cables. But this TV has all the ports fairly towards the outside, making them easier to reach. It also has a little hook where you can actually help with cable management, and that is a nice touch. Moving over to the remote control, is the same one we saw with the QLED TV. Double tap the volume down button to mute the TV. Dedicated buttons for Netflix and Prime Video. The patch wall button now has a small logo on it. You have a dedicated button to pull up Android TV. Speaking of the UI, this is exactly what we saw with the Mi QLED TV. It has patch wall, it has Android 10. It also has Patchwall has evolved considerably over the years. You now have dedicated sections and collections for be it the IPL or to watch 4K content, HDR content, top 10 trending in India today. Patchwall is putting content before the streaming services, which makes it a great option if you're someone that's subscribed to a lot of streaming services but don't necessarily want to run through them individually to know what you want to watch tonight. So this culmination of many services into one UI is actually pretty cool, and the fact that Xiaomi is working on improving the UI, improving the sections that you see, also really helps a lot. So overall, as a package of a 65-inch TV, especially where the size matters to you a lot, at the price point of 58,000 rupees, you can consider this TV. But like I said, there are many options for you to choose from if you don't mind going 10 inches smaller in screen size and choosing from a wider varieties of TVs based on what you would like to watch. So if, let's say, you're someone that's only going to watch movies and TV shows, and you want a really good TV with really good picture performance, then we did review the Philips 8200 series 50-inch TV some time ago, but you can check out the 55-inch TV. You should get it in the ballpark of the same price. Again, if you want to check out QLED technology, you have Xiaomi's own QLED TV and also the TCL C715, which is a 2020 QLED TV that we reviewed. You should go check that one out if you are in this price range to pick up a TV. But yes, like I said, if size is more important to you, then for this price point, the Redmi TV can be a good value for money proposition, especially considering the features it brings. The picture performance of this TV overall is good, be it Dolby Vision content or HDR content and even SDR content. It's HDR10 plus content that actually falls a little short. Now, the HDMI 2.1 settings on this TV are slightly hidden, and with the PS5, we did have some trouble accessing it. We thought we'd show you this in a separate video, so those of you that actually just want to know how to set up a PS5 with this TV can do that. So there you have it, guys. That was our review of the Redmi Smart TV X65. As always, you can let us know what you thought of this video in the comment section below. If you have any questions, do let me know in the comment section below. I will do my best to answer as many of them as possible. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We will catch you in another video. It's goodbye for now.